Have you ever found yourself holding back from doing what you love, simply because you were worried about what others might think? Maybe you wanted to pursue a dream, speak up, or wear something different, but you stopped yourself, wondering, what will they say about me? This happens to all of us, when we start living for the approval of others instead of staying true to ourselves. But here's the truth, when you live for others' opinions, you lose touch with your own. This story is about a man who found the courage to break free from the expectations of others and live life authentically. This is a story about finding freedom. A story about discovering that your life is truly yours when you stop living for everyone else's approval. Meet Ethan. A young man living in a busy city, always trying to fit in, always trying to be someone he wasn't. Ethan was a talented artist. He had a passion for photography that he had nurtured for years, but he kept it hidden. Why? Because everyone around him had their own ideas about what he should be doing with his life. His friends said, "Photography won't pay the bills, Ethan. You need a stable job, a career that's reliable." Even his parents said, "You'll never be successful with your camera. People will think you're just playing around." Ethan tried to ignore their comments, but the pressure was relentless. He went to college for something practical, something safe. But every time he picked up his camera, a voice in his head told him he was wasting time. People would laugh at him. His dreams seemed impossible. The opinions of others haunted him every day. One day, after hearing yet another round of judgment, Ethan put his camera down. He told himself, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm just chasing a pipe dream. He started to go through the motions of life, working a job he didn't love, barely touching his camera. But something inside him felt off. A deep emptiness crept into his heart, and he knew he wasn't living the life he was meant to. One day, an older photographer came into the city. He was a wanderer, someone who had spent his life capturing moments, traveling to distant places and living free from judgment. His name was Thomas, and he had no regard for what people thought of him. He just followed his heart. Ethan heard about him and went to see him at a local exhibition. He watched in awe as Thomas explained his journey, how he had spent years capturing the world, not for fame or money, but because it was his truth. After the exhibition, Ethan found the courage to approach Thomas. "I've always loved photography," he said, "but everyone tells me it's a waste of time. I want to do it for a living, but I'm afraid of what people will think." Thomas looked at him thoughtfully. Then he turned and pointed to the sky. "Do you see that?" he asked. Ethan nodded, unsure where this was going. Thomas continued, "Look at the wind. It blows freely through the trees, across the fields, and through the city. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't care what anyone thinks of it. It moves because it is free." Thomas smiled and turned to Ethan. "You, my friend, are like the wind. You've been listening to everyone else, letting their opinions control your movement. But the wind never asks for permission to exist, and neither should you." Ethan stood still, processing what he had just heard. "But what if people still judge me? What if they never stop talking about me?" he asked. Thomas looked at him and laughed softly. "Let them talk. The wind blows whether people like it or not. The sun shines whether they think it's too hot or not. You cannot control what others say, but you can control how you respond. If you live to please everyone, you'll never live at all." The words hit Ethan deeply. He realized that he had been living in a cage built by others' opinions. He was no longer free. That night, after thinking about Thomas's words, Ethan took out his camera again. For the first time in weeks, he felt a spark inside him. He went to the park and began capturing the sunset, the people walking by, the simple beauty of the world. He didn't care about the opinions of others anymore. He was doing what he loved. Ethan's heart was lighter. As he continued to photograph, he felt more alive than ever before. The world around him didn't change, but his perspective did. He no longer saw people's judgments as chains holding him back. Instead, he saw them as noise that faded into the background while he focused on what truly mattered: his passion for photography. Days passed, and Ethan started sharing his photos online. At first, the feedback was mixed. Some people still doubted him, but slowly, others began to appreciate his work. His photos captured something raw, something real. People started to follow his page, and with each new follower, he gained more confidence. It wasn't about the praise, though. It was about the freedom to be himself. Ethan realized that when you stop seeking approval, you start living with purpose. And as he shared his journey, others began to see it too. Some even reached out to tell him how his work inspired them to follow their own passions. Ethan had found his freedom. No longer was he bound by the opinions of others. He knew that living his truth, whether people liked it or not, was the only way to truly live. Just like the wind, Ethan moved without asking permission. He followed his heart, and in doing so, he found peace and success in a way that no one could take from him. So, I ask you, are you living for yourself or are you living for the approval of others? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever struggled with this? What did you do to break free? If this story resonated with you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a motivational story that can help you live your truth. Like, comment, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. And remember, no matter what others say, you have the power to be who you are. Live for yourself and let your heart lead the way.